Hey guys, this is Manifesting Better, and I'm back with another video and another topic that needs to be addressed. I also have an Instagram account, the link for that is in the description box below. Coaching is also available, the link for that too is in the description box below. Today's video comes after a session I had where I had a conversation with a client who was struggling to manifest something and was struggling to be in a good state related to her manifestation. And according to me, it's yes, the client has to take responsibility, and yes, she will put in the work as I guided her with. But I think that there are some misconceptions that the community has set for all of us based on the kind of content that we see on a daily basis. So let me cover some things that according to my experience I have seen in my journey and with my clients that can help you guys better with this. First thing I would like to say is that we have all heard this phrase, manifesting is very easy. And well, in theory, yes, it can be, and yes, practically it can be easy too, but not always. And let me explain. As I have mentioned multiple times, that whatever we feel aligns with our self image, we will see manifest in the physical world easily and sustainably. These are the things that I think are easy for me and you think are easy for you, and you don't usually have a lot of stories opposite to it. I have a video related to this, I will post it in the description. But what happens is that there are going to be things in your life that you feel are difficult and that you have a lot of opposite stories with, a lot of past experiences with, some trauma might feel difficult, take a lot of time, and that's not a bad thing. If you look at it in a macro perspective, in a long term perspective, that's not a bad thing. See, the prerequisite to manifest anything is you want to live in the end result or live as the new version of yourself who has it, right? Once you are able to reach there consistently and persistently, it becomes easy for it to show up in our life. That is where manifestations come. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it will always be easy to reach there and you would always be able to reach that state instantly for everything. For some things, you will see that the past assumptions can feel overwhelming, and there is, it will feel like manifestation is a battle or a struggle. So, yes, it is essentially very easy to manifest what you want once you reach the end state and show up as that consistently. But if it feels difficult to reach there, don't worry. Everyone has been there and you will overcome it too, right? Don't judge yourself based on the standards the community has set for you. Because in the end, the community doesn't have to deal with what you are dealing with. See, for example, let's say for someone, they have had a bad history with money, right? But they have had a good history with relationships. For them, manifesting relationships will probably be a little bit easier because they don't have trauma against it. They don't have to work on themselves as much against it. They don't have that nagging voice in their head that the opposing stories keep coming up. They don't have resistance in their body against it. They don't have the physical world is maybe in support of their manifestation, right? So that's why for them the relationship aspect would be easier, and if they have had bad history with money, that would be a little bit difficult. Just like that, for someone for whom money has always been good but maybe health or friendships has been an issue, for them they might struggle there, and that's totally fine. The thing is that anyone who has actually went through a spiritual journey and manifested things in their life will come and tell you that it was difficult for them at some point. So the masters, I'm using air quotes here, the people you call masters are people who have struggled what you are struggling through, and now because they have worked on all these things, do their manifestations come and seem to come a little bit faster because they have learned how to handle the resistance better. So it's not that they are doing something magically different. No, it's just that they are very self-aware and they are learning to they have learned this thing that they have to handle the resistance in a certain way, shape or form, right? And to be very honest, this is not a bad thing at all, because honestly, I have had clients who have told me that my movement happened very fast, and it was not a good thing for me at all, because when the movement happened, I still hadn't dealt with the resistance. I still had the opposing feelings, I still had the opposing thoughts, I still kept reacting the same way to every situation. So because I kept reacting the same way and because those things kept happening, I still don't get that that manifestation is still being a struggle for me. So even if it's here, I'm not able to enjoy it. It's just going to go away again, right? So there is no point of fighting that feeling, and there is no point of putting yourself into these standards that have been set by the community. It's totally okay to struggle. Another thing that people usually struggle with a lot and that needs to be cleared is that the journey of manifestation is not linear. It will never be. So, if at some point in your journey you are at the top of the world, you are feeling like, let's say your normal is 0 and you are at 5, you're living there, you have all that, you are walking confidently, you are showing up confidently, you are responding, you're not reacting, you everything is going right for you. Sorry, that doesn't mean that you cannot go down to -5 again, right? It doesn't mean that you cannot have a bad day. It doesn't mean that resistance won't sometimes suddenly hit you like a ton of bricks. It just means that when it does, that is when what you do will actually matter. Because when resistance hits you, if you react again and if you're like, oh, why does this keep happening to me, it's the same story again. I feel like there is no end to this journey, I feel like it isn't working out, then you are again, then that version of you that you were embodying was not in the first place permanent. That was very temporary, which means that it was pseudo self concept. It ended as soon as a circumstance or some resistance came. So if you go back to -5, then from there your job should be to come back to -4, -3. You cannot basically jump from that -5 to that +5 without gaslighting yourself. I don't want you to gaslight yourself and create mental health issues, right? So try to go a little bit up from there. The journey is never going to be linear. The people who I have seen are very good at manifesting, are very, very self honest, and are very self introspective, which means that when they know that they are reacting to something, they know that they are doing it, they are honest about it, and instead of dwelling in those feelings, they are finding solutions for it, sitting with that, learning to handle resistance. I have a video on resistance too that I have posted before. I will post the link down again. That is basically a way to handle resistance. And then they are very self introspective, which means that they know if they have created a habit of reacting after a certain amount of time. So I see people who have gotten into habits which, because of the time duration, they don't realize. I have seen people who keep reacting after every 10 days, but because the 10-day period is good, they don't realize that that is still a habit that they need to work with, and that is still a habit that they need to correct. So the more self-honest you are, the more you take responsibility, the more you stop trying to blame everything and everyone around you for this not working out, is probably when you will understand that this journey is not linear, this journey is not always easy, and if it's a struggle, that's totally fine, but it is what it is in that moment, and you have to learn how to handle it rather than cribbing about it and going into victimhood again. Please know that it can be hard, but it will become easy with time. It's a process. The journey is what will grow you to who you have to be, right? Keep going. Don't stop when it starts getting hard. It's good that it's getting hard. Think about it that you have leveled up. I will post another video this week probably. I will be looking forward to your comments and some video suggestions, and I will see you in the next one.